Well, folks, thanks for being here. And this is Harry Boxer of the technicaltrader.com. That's thetechtrader.com. Let me just show you quickly our trading room. Very active day. As you can see, I've dozens and dozens of people putting out news, ideas, alerts, things of that nature. That's the trading room itself. But if you go to the Tech Traders site itself, hold on one moment. I want to show you by the site. Look, we are giving as we always do, a free 2-week trial. And anybody who likes what they hear today or likes my style, one moment. A little, okay, there you go. So this is the front page of my site. That is yours truly.
We're only seeing your charts.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'd have to do something else, right?
Yeah, you'd have to stop your share and reshare the.
Okay, it won't be worth it. But just go to thetechtrader.com and click on the front page. It says start a free trial. You can get a couple weeks of day trading action at thetechtrader.com. And I think most people make enough money to cover a year's worth of subscription services anyway in the first couple of weeks, because it's a very active site with hundreds of traders on it and lots of really good ones too that have been with me 5, 10, and 15 years apiece. So today we're going to go over basically I'm going to analyze your picks and give you a complete analysis, both short-term and long-term. So go ahead and post symbols and I'll be able to start the process. And do you have any in advance, David?
I'm
not
seeing any yet. But how about
yeah.
Palantir? That's one I like.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's talked about that.
Now, Palantir is a swing trade of the tech traders. And I want you to see, first of all, obviously we know that it had a big move in 2021. And then came down in a 1, 2, 3, and then I consider this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the fifth of the fifth, or that to me was a bottoming Elliott wave buy signal, because it had 5 waves down. It was at the bottom of the long-term channel, and of course it did run up and then pull back. But the real buy signal didn't come from me until the breakaway gap occurred and the double top was taken out. Right there is where I put a swing on it when the stock was trading about 11. And obviously over the next few weeks it did very well for us and got up to 17. And then pull back. Currently, you can see the stock had a breakaway gap in February, ran up and pulled back and popped to my target zone. I had a $27 target. It actually reached $27.50 and pulled back down. Right now, it's at the point where it's at resistance. If you look at these highs in here, but if you're looking at for its trading target near term, should it get above right where it is? You can see where there's resistance at about 25.5, 65. It's today's high 25.47. So right at resistance. Watch Palantir in the next few days. I believe if it goes through here, it's going to test the 27.5 area. Now, on a long-term basis, if you look at the way I've drawn the channel, I have a projection that says this stock could be, depending on whether or not the market will let it, meaning if there's a bull phase coming and this stock breaks out above 27, you might see low, mid, and even high 30s, possibly as much as 40 over the next few weeks and months on Palantir. Underlying technicals look really good too. So the short-term pattern shows it's at resistance, and there's a little bit of resistance and a short-term target between 25 here and 27.5 there. Once you get above that, then you're good to go. Let's go on and check a few other symbols out. I like this one. So as you know, that DWAC changed to DJT today. That's the Donald J. Trump social media group merging with, I think it was called Data World, or I forgot the name of the company already. You can see the big spike in in January, multi-month consolidation. And then yesterday when they announced it's going to be a done deal tomorrow and trading under Donald J. Trump, this stock goes from 38 to 79. And by the way, my target today on a day trade, I want to show you this. When it broke out here, I gave everyone a target 78 to 80, a high 78, 80 exactly, and then the double top and the pullback. Later in the day, I said, keep an eye on this stock because right now, if this stock breaks out above the 75 range, I believe it'll test 78 and maybe got as much as 84.5. And my current targets for day trades is up there if it pops with volume. Now, my personal preference always has been and always will be, the price is nothing without volume, and the volume is nothing without price, at least if you want to make money. So a price volume surge is going to be necessary. But if you see these multiple tops across here, we made a nominal new high this afternoon a little while ago, just under 75. So over 75 with a good burst of volume gets me, I think, into the high 70s, low to mid 80s. That's my take on Wendy. Hey, hi, Wendy. How are you doing? I know Wendy. Nice lady. Okay, and then up next is K-View. Looking at the daily chart, I believe this is a J&J spinoff. It initially popped, went to 27, then dropped down. After running up and taking out a base salary, it spiked here. Note that this high and this resistance was around the same level, and that's going to be your next target. After coming down and testing again in February, it broke out. So what I'm seeing now is a run into resistance. This is resistance right across here. We're just below it. If this one breaks out above, call it 21 with energy, and we're right there, we should see a test of that 2240 area. And once you get about that, then you're broken out of a base, and it's a wide enough base that can support a big move. My targets are then going to be 25 and 27. I don't think it's going to be a big mover, but it might. Anyway, that's my take on that one. Ramanisha, I don't usually chart anything other than stocks, but and I've asked everybody here for one symbol because there's other people. So I'll give you one symbol, and it's going to be on the SPY. Here's the bottom line. If you are trading SPY, and obviously tied to the S&P 500, as long as this channel stays intact, I believe the SPY moves higher. This little 3-day pattern is a flag. The short-term target on SPY, for me, 527. 526.7 is my initial target. Take two, TWO. This is for Oleg. This is not a good chart. Oleg, I tell it like it is. This looked great here. Take two looked great when it broke out, had that wedge, and this is where I was telling my traders this could be a good swing. And it went from 145 to 172. But see this breakdown gap? When you break down with a gap underneath the 50-day moving average, can't bounce and then back and fill and break down. The only good thing about this pattern is that it retested, but it failed miserably. If you want to go long, you better be stopping this under 141, period. Above 153, 3.25 is the only time I can get bullish on a stock. And if it does that, then my target would be the gap here at 160. But I don't like this chart. The underlying technicals suck. So bottom line is, I wouldn't recommend it. PayPal. From a technical standpoint, PayPal is looking much better. Why? Let's have a big drop first and a decelerating pattern, and then a slowing, declining pattern. But here's a stock that went from 300 down to 50. Not even that. I think it got below 50. 50.25. What it did then is this. This looks like a left shoulder head and a complex right shoulder, or you can call it a cup and a handle. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what you call it. Call me anything but late for dinner, right? Here's the bottom line. There's resistance right where it is. If PayPal gets through here, the first thing you're looking for is a gap fill. That gap fills at about 72.5. Now, I would look for 5 points if it moves above 68, another 4 or 5 points. Then challenging this area would be in order. Up around 77, 78. So the targets are 72 and 77. If it breaks out, watch the volume. The unbalanced volume is moving up very nicely. Underlying technicals aren't that great, but I do think this has a shot, particularly if the market cooperates, on making a move from 67 to 75 thereabout. mRNA had a difficult day today, I thought. Yeah, it did. But the overall pattern is not a bad one. Now, monster move during COVID, as you know, because of the vaccine. A big move down, a base was built. It was unable to generate a lot of volume. It came down pretty hard from 230 into the 60 range, 62.5. After moving up to the trend line and backing off and then breaking out, it's now setting up for maybe a bigger move. Unfortunately, there's a ton of resistance here. 115.16 is what it's got to get through for me to be happy about the long-term perspective on this one. So it's neutral to positive. CGC, that's a current tech trader swing. I love this chart. We did very well here, and we did very well back here before it dropped. This is a reverse split, I believe. After double bottoming down, it was actually down a little cheaper than that, but 2 3/4. 8 1/4. That's tripled now, folks, tripled. Today's engulfing bear, bullish reversal bar. We day traded this, by the way, today. The stock popped and pulled back right there is where I said this is a day trade. We got in about 685, and the stock went to 824. Just an hour and a half later. I told everyone to sell at that point because it had multiple waves up. It was at the top of the channel, and it did it on pretty good volume. Since then, down goes Frazier. And look, you can see as the pattern develops. Now, I need this from a day trade standpoint because people, please be precise if this is going to be a day trade that you're looking for, a swing or something longer, because there is a difference in my analysis. CGC intraday is consolidating in a wedge. On an intermediate basis, the long-term declining tops line is broken. There is some resistance right there. Take a look. Here and there and there, and it got right to it today and backed off. No surprise to me that it did that. If it should get through, the next targets are 10.5 3/4 and then 12.5. Those are your next targets. I like this one. Square, otherwise known as Block Inc. I actually put a swing on it when it popped and pulled back, and it's still in play. Support 73 3/4, 74. Resistance 87.5. Target 97. I like PayPal. Hood, overall a good chart, amazingly so. I hated this stock for so long, but look at the base that it's built. A 2-year base, it popped to resistance and a pullback falling wedge that held the 50-day moving average, which to me is critical. Then it's exploded, and if this is a 1, 2, 3, we have this stock's overdue for a pullback consolidation. However, it's got momentum, and if it takes momentum to break it out, it can really run, perhaps even in the low to mid 20s. I would definitely keep it stopped tightly on this one. Support is at 18 1/4 and 16 3/4, and I would probably stop under 16 3/4. DFH for DH Carnes. The Dream Finders, interesting builder. When it first came public, that was the high. Note, this just went through that. Great long-term chart. I think the builders are going to get their butt handed to them at some point, but they really have momentum. This is one of the more cyclical groups I've seen. You know, they basically are dangerous when they're overbought. So yeah, it's overbought, but here's what I would do. This is where you've got to stop it under 34.5. That's not too tight, is it? This moving average is at 38. You may stop half under 38, half under 34.5. But if it continues to run, my target is 55. No kidding. Intermediate term, 55. MSTR. Well, I mean, this is the kind of stock with Bitcoin running. It's in a beautiful rising channel and has multiple waves up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave's underway, which if Bitcoin blows off into 80, 90,000 or something like that, and these continue to run, believe it or not, my target is 2,800. It's another 1,000 points or 900 points more. Again, if you're not telling me it's a swing or a day trade, I'm going to have to go long term. SQ as a swing trade. Well, here's what you need to see. Over 87.5, and it's not far away. My swing is 97, 10 points, 12 points from here. And I would definitely stop under 78. Well, Fran Miller. Hey, Fran. Fran's a subscriber. RBLX. Well, I like this company. Do I like the chart? I loved it here. Put a day trade, I mean a swing trade on it. But look at the multiple tops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it couldn't get to 48. Now it's back down to support. But Fran, I would have to stop this under 35.5. I don't want to see it any lower than that because then there's a big vacuum down here. And I wouldn't get excited about it on the long side until I see this at least get up through 40. 40 gets the declining top sign broken and maybe takes out the 50-day moving average. Then you're on your way to what my target would be 42 3/4 and 45 for starters. AI, I'm not liking this, and I'm not sure why it's doing what it's doing, but it looks like this is out of favor. Now it broke out the breakaway gap and failed to follow through. And as soon as it had this reversal bar and broke that high, and then rallied back and couldn't get through it, I knew this was going lower. Right now, it's in a falling wedge. I don't like the pattern. It's below the 50. It's on the trend line. So if it doesn't bounce here, it's got a problem. If you want to take a swing on it, Fran, you can do that. But I really want to see those over 29.5 with volume for starters, and then over 31 to really get it going. I don't want to see it below 26.5. This could be a dangerous stock at some point, but the long-term trend line is pretty much right there. So that's where you need to consider. SOFI for MGNISD2. Okay. SoFi was looking pretty good last year. I liked it when it broke out of this base, but it just didn't follow through. It's a sloppy pattern with dozens and dozens of stocks breaking out and making good moves. I wouldn't touch this. Simple as that. I mean, look, here's the bottom line. If it makes a move over 8 with volume, then maybe you can trade it to 9.25, 9.5 or more. And then there's some big resistance along the way. I just don't like this chart at all anymore. And I would pass if I were you. And for RJC, looking at NVIDIA. Same thing with SMCI, NVIDIA, and all those big runners, MSTR for in the coin crypto area. Okay, so obviously NVIDIA had a spike reversal here, got up to 974, and that day closed 100 points lower, and yet no follow through to the downside. Formed a 8 or 9 day base and then broke back out again. But I tell you right now, 974 and 1,100. Those two targets are what I would look at. If it gets to 974, I would then look for 1090 to 1,100. So I think I've covered all the questions, at least to now. Does anybody else have anything they want me to look at for you? David, I'm not seeing anything else. I think I went through everything.
There's a new one, INZY.
Right. Keep them coming, folks. This is your opportunity to get an analysis from a 60-year technical analysis veteran. You guys ought to come to my site and see what we do. It's outstanding. And I'm the hardest working guy you'll ever meet. I get up at 3:40 a.m. Pacific on the site till after 1 o'clock Pacific, and even in the evenings as well. So I do webinars every day. I give you guys charts of the day videos, weekend webinars that covers everything. So well worth the money. Okay, so INZY, good chart. This is one I follow. I like it a lot, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs. This is key resistance, but it's biotech, and if it blows through, look, you can go back here too. This could be 11, 14, 18, one of those big runners if it pops right here. So I like it, but I want to see some follow through. For Barry Mew, he wants to know about OLLI, Ollie. OLLI and free. This was a great chart for a long time. Problem is it's gone nowhere for 6 months. Now, if there's multiple tops in here, if we can get to 85, different story. I would definitely stop under 73, over 85. You can see the channel angle that I have on it calls for a much bigger move, probably to 90, mid 90 somewhere. The NASDAQ 100. Well, look, it's easy for me to look at this chart. NDX broke out, made a nominal high, backed off. So if you see the NDX above 18,465, you're probably going to see, I think, 19,000 is possible. Wendy, I'm going to have to do that at the end if I have time. I already went over Palantir. I can do it one more time if you didn't hear me. Palantir, it's got a beautiful long-term chart, a beautiful inverse head and shoulder type base, or anyway, a base breakout, breakaway gap, fine, picked up. And it's got a long-term, let's call this a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's possible if we get a market blow off at some point, Palantir could be somewhere in the mid to high 30s or more. RTY. Why am I coming up with this? RTY. What is RTY? Huh. Well, anyway. Oh, is it it's a small cap? But why is it not coming up on my thing? That's very unusual. RTY.
It's the future symbol for IWM.
Oh, okay. Then I just
or Russell 2000.
I'll look at IWM then. This is something I follow very closely. And my buddy Avi Gilbert, who used to be a subscriber of mine, who has his own site, is following this religiously. I told him I think it looks more bullish than he thinks. He says, well, if it does get over 215, 16, Katie barred the door and the market blows out. But I would say if you see IWM under 199, 198.99 through here, that would be negative for the markets overall. But this looks like it's headed to 216, and if it gets crazy, 225, 27. Now we got a lot of new symbols, so let me get to it. I love CLSK as one of the best crypto stocks. But it's up tenfold in a year. Now it just came out of a coil and popped. Follow through targets would be 27 and 35, 37 on the blow off. I don't want to be in this stock under 18 and a half though. 19 in that area. How many people in my room? Several hundred. It varies every day. How about AMD? Well, I like the AMD a lot, but this is a negative reversal bar. When you go to a new all-time high, reverse and close down, and then gap the next day, almost leaving an island, it's pretty negative. I don't like this like I used to, but it is above support. If the market goes higher and tech stocks lead the way, I think AMD will be fine. But I'll tell you right now, if this gets under 174, and it's pretty close, I step aside but half my position and stop the rest under 162. Those are your two key support levels now. I'm not that optimistic because I don't like when stocks break trend lines and break moving averages and are below them. So, and again, there's so many beautiful stocks out there right now. Why bother? Snow. Yeah, that's on my short list. It looks terrible. I mean, it was one of my favorite stocks for a long time. Look at this base. And when it broke out here, I put a swing on it. Yeah, the swing worked from about 195 and got up to 240. But boy, did it get creamed. I don't buy falling knives. The only good part about this one is it's at its long-term trend line. It probably bounces, but I don't like it at all right now. There's too many other good ones. RJC, I'm not clear what your question is. Oh, I'm sorry, who said that? Okay. CS Sundara or Sundara. Is that day trade or swing for chart and daily chart analysis? It depends on, I'm always giving swing trade analysis on daily charts, and on 1, 5, 15-minute charts, I'll show you my swing analysis for the most part. How many opportunities do I trade per week? More than you can count, Max. I put out a good 8 to 10 ideas every morning, and sometimes more, sometimes less, but mostly around there. And I follow them closely. I may put out a couple additional ones during the day, and on a swing basis, 3 to 5 swings a week. Moving on, GRWG or Max Taylor. Max, look, this is a marijuana related. They make growing equipment for the marijuana industry. It was a great chart for a long time right in here. Finally, after a year and a half, almost 2 years of the declining channel, it broke out with vinyl. I like that. The only problem I have with this one right now is this. It's near resistance. Should it get through this level, above 3, with any energy, I would look for a move into that 4 range, and then maybe higher. 3, then 4, and 450. Now, there's obviously lots of room to go up even to 6 longer term, but for right now, if you're asking what the short-term target is, it's got to be once it gets above 3, 395.4. But I do like the fact it's broken out of its long-term downtrend. PANW, yeah, this looks really bad. I know it's the biggest company in the industry, but they got crushed here. Now, the only good part about this would possibly be that is the trend line. I'm not sure it is. Yeah, let's just say you better stop this one underneath 277. And if it gets above 293, I would look for a run into the 320 range. Do I like this chart? Absolutely not. No matter how good a company is, it's a good time to buy a bad stock and a bad time to buy a good stock. Bottom line is, this breaks to the downside, you're going to have I think, a drop into the 225.30 range. Could be ugly. It's a better short than a long, in my opinion. Okay, Manisha. Anybody else with a question? Let's see, we got some more here. Okay. ALKS for Spike. Yeah, again, I like a lot of biotechs. I don't like this one. It isn't a falling wedge. A falling wedge could snap back, but I never catch a falling knife. There's no reason to average down or buy a stock that's in this kind of a mode until it shows me some energy. For starters, above 28 with energy, and then above 28 and a half, 3/4 through the moving averages, that tells me it's on its way to 30 and a half and maybe 32 and a half. For now, though, there's nothing to prevent this from coming down to the next level or even that gap, meaning this is your next support zone, and it may continue to drift into that. So I'd be awfully careful, and I do not recommend it. CVNA. Carvana, triple top, breakaway gap, rising channel. What can I tell you? I was all over this stock here and in here on 2 swings. It really worked for us, but then it went to 6 months consolidation and finally broke out. What you want to look at is where can it go from here? Well, check this out. If this is a massive 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, the 5th wave has started already, and it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets me up to 200, 250. I believe that could be the case in the next few months. Okay, FCDF. XRT. Well, as you know, this is the retail ETF, and it's looking quite good. It's probably because of this one stock alone, ANF, which has gone from 20 to 130, 40, 7-fold increase. But there's a few others. And quite a few retailers that look good, some look bad. But see what looks like a topping pattern in this, heavy volume on the downside. Be careful in this one. If you're in this and you want to know what to do with it, this is what I would do. My drop dead stop is right there. Under 74.5, I want you out. If it extends and wants to extend, fine. This is your channel. This is your mid-range channel. This is your upper channel. And here's my forecast. 81 and 86 if it continues. But you can buy it, stay long until it stops underneath support. Share my overreaching view for the rest of the year. You know what? I'm a short-term trader. I don't even care what the market does. I really don't care. Like every day the market's down or up or down, but we have stocks that run every day. That's why in my room, if you're a tech trader and a day trader, you get great day trading ideas and fabulous swing trading ideas. It's been a good year. Let's go and move on for some more. Kava for Barry Mew. Yeah, this is a really good restaurant chain. I really liked when they went public, and then it got hammered. This is where I told my subscribers this one bar on big volume was the breakout bar. And then when it pulled back and consolidated in a coil, I said, if it breaks out of here, it's a buy. And that's where it was a buy right there, in my opinion, at 46.5. And here it is at 69 plus this morning. So where can I go from here? A little extended. I think you're going to probably see short-term 72.5. It's getting long in the tooth, though. And unless it accelerates, it's a hard call because it's a new all-time high territory. So blue skies are pretty good. Mara. Now, I can tell you that Mara is trailing. It is trailing the crypto stocks. Yeah, I know it looked good here, but look at this falling wedge pop and unable to get the resistance. Now, if it does, and the crypto stocks, you know, if Bitcoin goes to 100,000 or something, this is going to have to, you know, they say a rising tide floats all boats. Well, this will go, but it's got to get, in my mind, above 23 with volume first. Then maybe you can get back to 30, 32. But there's so many better stocks. Compare that to CLSK. And you'll see that one running and at new highs. So that's why I would avoid Mara, or why be in it when you got better stocks? I loved Mara for a long time, but not anymore. Don't see any other questions. Does anybody have anything? Come on, folks, I'm here for you. Don't be shy. Spit out a symbol. I'll give you my take. Everyone's done? There you go, BREX. Ooh, not good at all. Thanks for the symbols, by the way. Spike, look, you may know something about the company. You may like the fundamentals. I'm a technical analyst. How many charts, like, yeah, there's hundreds, if not thousands of stocks in uptrends. Why be in anything that looks like this? And this thing downtrend with, by the way, a bear flag forming, which tells me it can go even lower. So I would avoid this too. Exxon. Well, if you like these larger cap oil stocks, Exxon's got a triple top at 120.21. You got to get through that. Then your target's going to be 130 and 140. Where would I stop it? What I probably would do is keep an eye on the angle of ascent and see if it continues this angle or breaks. CFLT. Now, I liked it when it broke out here. It formed the platform and it broke out again. And I actually put a swing on it. It hasn't worked because the stock's just meandering sideways and consolidating, which is fine. I'm going to need that to break out and show me some energy, folks. I will tell you, this looks to me like a 1, 2, 3, 4. In Elliott wave terms, I'm looking for a fifth wave. If we get one, targeting 40.41. If it gets over 34.5 with volume. Moving on. CYTK. Oh, it looked fabulous on a breakout here. As a matter of fact, I actually put a swing on it when it broke out here. And of course, it gapped and ran on the positive drug news. Now, it seems to be accumulating again over the last few days. You can see resistance here. This price, declining top sign, moving average resistance all here. If it gets through, I would look for a quick move back to 79.81 range. That's my short-term analysis. And I would stop it under 61. How do I pick stocks for trading? In the morning, I come in, I look for stocks that are thrusting or moving up at least 5 to 10% and at least 3 to 5 times more volume than average. And that's how I pick my day trades. Then I look at overall 15 minute and hourly charts as well as daily charts for those patterns and what the short-term movement has to do with the long-term pattern. And if that's positive, obviously, I'll issue a swing. ACB, again, I prefer CGC way better. But if this one gets above resistance right now is about 5.25, we might see the stock back at 6.5, 3/4 or more. HL, that's Hecla, the silver miner. It says gold, but I think they do more silver. Anyway, look, I don't get the big hullabaloo with gold and silver, but I will admit, and as bad as they looked, they're looking better now. But look at Hecla where it's been for the last year and a half. It's just moving sideways between 3.25 and 7. Right now, it's in the declining top side. The recent move above the moving average and the crossing over is bullish. I would say if Hecla gets over 4.5, I would look for 5.25 and 5.75. Tesla is an unmitigating disaster. Today was a good day for it. When I say unmitigated disaster, take a look at this. Triple top breakdown, bear flag, and I told everybody it's going lower. It got to support and bounced. I'm not seeing a lot of good technicals on it, and it's right at resistance here. Be careful. If it doesn't get to 189 with volume, then it could fail, and this could be nothing more than a 3-wave corrective bear flag. Take a look. So be careful here, because if it fails here, it may be failing near the declining top sign as well. We are right on resistance, triple resistance right here. If it pops, it could spike. If it doesn't, it could die. If the market turns down, Tesla could very well be, I'm not kidding, 140 again, 140. I'd rather be short than long. NEO used to be one of my favorite stocks, but something is wrong, and I don't care what it is. Something is wrong. And when it's wrong, I stay away. Wouldn't you rather be an XPEV, even as bad as that looked, or LI, which looks much better than both of them? Well, all three of them are coming down. I would avoid that group. This is something really wrong with this stock. And don't pick, you're going to pick a bottom. you're gonna get stinky fingers. If you catch a falling knife, you cut your hand. So bottom line is, there's no reason to be in a stock other than a long-term decline from the 60s down to 5, even less. Here's how I get involved with this stock. Only if it does this. You got it, McGinnis? Over 630 with volume, it'll turn around and it'll be much better at that point. I'd look for 8.5 and 11 at that point, but now forget about it. Meta, it's a pretty powerful look to it. There's no reason to be short this stock at all. But if it suddenly turns down and gets underneath, for now, 475, and then you got this, 460. Those are two support levels to keep an eye on. Where's the next target? 540.45. And CRWD. Beautiful chart. Target 400. Support 310.15. Be careful under that. Camilo, great to see you too. Thanks for being here. I already did XLM, so I'll go with CVX and Walmart. I'm not crazy about the oil sector, but but they're acting better. This to me is a dangerous chart. Let me show you why. Will I see this broken? If oil suddenly turns down for some reason, say they settle the Israeli war or something like that, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth wave down would get me down to 135. I'd be very cautious on this one. Stop under 152. Or, if you prefer, a little leeway, 147.5. Below that, everything breaks down. Not my favorite chart. KNSL. Interesting chart. Kinsale Capital. I think I've never heard of this stock. I can see why. Hardly trades. But if you're in a stock like that, you stay in a stock like that. It's almost like Berkshire Hathaway. Remember that, right? Of course. Warren Buffett's company, which it went from 250 to 2,500. This is at the top of the channel. It's way extended, long term. It's a hard call as to where it might go. I can extrapolate this. If this continues, 800 is possible. Uber, I've recommended Uber originally at 29 when it was breaking out here. Then pull back, pop, pull back, pop. This is a long-term trend that hasn't abated yet, but I would 100% stop under 73, 73.5. Don't let it get underneath that. If it should pop above 82, I would expect to see high 80s, maybe low to mid 90s. VRT is a monster. Look at this chart. My long-term channel top says $100 is where this is headed. FCX copper stock, Freeport McMoran, is at resistance. Now, you look back here in early 2023, this reached 46.75. Right now it's 45-ish. It's above that, your target's 49.5, 52. It's a slow-moving stock. Amgen, my favorite biotech company of all time. No kidding. Yeah, I really like them. I was in a stock way back in here. Way back there. But anyway, didn't hold it, of course. Had I. The current chart on Amgen, very short term, shows and you look at Pfizer and Bristol Myers and companies like that, it just blows me away how cheap they are. They really got hammered. But this is broken out of a falling wedge as well. It's a world-class company. My target is 295. If it gets through that, 315. I would stop under here for sure. Don't let it get under 268. JBL. You can see JBL broke down. Isn't it amazing? It was support. It broke down underneath it and rallied right back to it. It's been up for 7 days in a row, not with great technicals. I think, I could be wrong, and if it doesn't go through here and start to roll over, it's a short. First target at 112, second target 100. Be careful with this. USO, let's look at oil. Well, I was bearish on oil when it broke down here and it kept going down, but then it bounced from the base and broke out. So this looked better, much better. My target is 81.5, 82 short term, and then maybe high 80s if oil does what I think it could do. IoT for a swing for Thomas. Oh, hey, Tommy, another subscriber of mine. Tom, I want to talk to you. Give me a call when you get a chance. Okay, I think you may have gotten my message today. So, IoT for a swing trade. Well, this is a tech trader swing, as you know. I believe I put it out here and then again there. Now it hasn't done that much, slow but steady. But I think eventually you're looking at a $55 stock. Swing, long-term swing. And for Ran Earl, ONON. Well, this can't go anywhere, even though it's in it, until it gets. Well, first of all, you got to take out the short-term resistance. You want to swing on it. I'm going to tell you the following. Your swing target is 40, 39.5, 40. And the reason I give you that is because of the resistance I see here. But it looks like it's primed to make a move potentially. If you get over 37, you should see 40, 41, something like that. CHD 4, RJC again. Church and Dwight. And those are people that make Armenheimer? I think so, yeah. Anyway. Over 105, you're good to go. There's a triple top there, though. And it's consolidated long enough to support a much bigger move. Long term now, because you didn't tell me what you're looking for in terms of time frame. Oh, this could be a big number for breakthrough here. I go 125 and 145. Swing long for Camilo's WMT. This just split 3 for 1, right? Okay. Sorry about that. It looks to me like this could go into the mid-70s. This is a really dynamite looking chart. Lord, I would say 68 and 75. Lilly is a monster. It just keeps going up. It's the best biotech stock in Wall Street, pharmaceutical anyway. It's all about Mounjaro and Wegovy or whatever you call it. Again, if you're not telling me a swing or long-term or day trade, I'm going to have to assume it's a swing trade. RJ, I'm looking for 880, 875, another 100 points from here, 100 more points. Apple long, bold person. Well, I don't like Apple at all, and I won't like it until it gets back above 179. If I see 179, then I need 182, 185 and above. This is in an ugly pattern. Again, until I see it above 178 and 3/4, 179 above there, above that, it could easily go lower. And if it goes lower, maybe the market saves it, but they have problems there. I would avoid. Disney's looking better than it has in a long time. Look at this. a big long-term falling wedge. Breaks out, forms a flag. Breakaway gap, forms a wedge. It breaks out of that. My target, 126, 145. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth wave is underway. I'm not sure it gets to 145, but between 126 and 130 on this leg up. Visa. Look, when I see stocks that do this, trend, 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 and then suddenly dips below it, tags the moving average and bounces. So today was a good engulfing reversal day. As long as it holds this level right here at about 275, 77, I'm good. Long-term or intermediate channel top now looks like this. My target, 300, give or take a couple points. ASML, Semicon, British, I believe. Look, if this is going to be doing what it might do, if the semiconductors continue to blow like they have been, there's no reason why this can't move up with with NVIDIA, SMCI, and AMD, etc. Where's my target? 1150 or more. Fred Grant, well, this is pretty good, Fred. The builders are amazing. I remember when they were almost back up, the stock was $3. Way back here. 354, look at that. Of course, it was 2009. Anyway, breaking out of this coil or flag, it's actually a rising flag. Very bullish chart. My target, Fred, 180.82. So we only have a few minutes left. I don't see any more questions. If anyone has anything in particular, speak now or forever hold your peace. Once again, the Tech Trader, go to thetechtrader.com, click on start a free trial. Doesn't cost you anything, not even a credit card. Okay, folks, just sign up, put your username and password in there, and come in for free for 2 weeks and enjoy the action and the money you'll probably make. A couple more questions here. Rig. Better. I really liked Rig when it platformed and then broke out. It moved up nicely, but then it fell back with the oil group. Here's a plus. The plus is that the 6-month declining channel was broken, and it's been up now for, well, these are weeks. Hang on a sec. There you go. So the daily channel broke here, and it keeps running. Right now, my target is somewhere between 690 and 7. Once you get to that, you can take a look at multiple tops resistance up here. I'd have to say 7 and 8.5 3/4 are your targets. You got that, Tommy? Okay, JP Morgan. Well, Spike wants to know. Easy to draw your lines, folks. You should do what I do because I've done it for a lot of years and it works. Look, you got to go historically and look back with JP Morgan. These are all-time highs, ever. So what's to hold us back from blue skies and nothing overhead? Your support around 189.90. Your resistance about 200. Beyond that, it's a slow mover, but a steady mover. I would go with 205.07. And we're running out of time here. I'll do a few more. BHVN. That's a good chart. Nice channel. See, this is where you want to be in a stock in an uptrend, right? Now it's consolidated. It's ready for the next leg. Watch it carefully. If it pops 62.5, your target is probably in the 73, 75 range. I would look for 15 points, if not more. Okay, so my website is thetechtrader.com. David has it there. There you go. So go to techtrader.com, you'll see my picture. And it says, stop chasing stocks and access the ultimate technical market analysis service. We do live webinars all day. I get up at 3:40 in the morning. I'm on with you guys around 5:10 Pacific Coast time. I stay on all day. I come in and out, but the webinar's open all day. You can see me working my charts, and I'll pop in and out with market and stock comments as they warrant. I guess that's it, David. This looks like if there's any more questions. What time do I start trading? Again, I do my work. I come in and do an hour and a half worth of analysis. I go over stocks that are gapping, running. I'm looking for reasons why. That's the only time I look at fundamentals. And then in the evening, I'm looking for ideas too. But for the most part, I come on live with you guys around 8:10 Eastern, 5:10 Pacific. A live webinar with dozens of people in, maybe more than that, or early on. Not everybody likes to wait earlier. I do. So once again, I invite you to come to thetechtrader.com. You can see the URL there. Sign up for a free trial. Come join us. I think you'll be very pleased. There's very few sites on the internet that do what I do.